of the ocean, the abalone. It's a doublet scrollwork oval drop earrings. So it's not just that stunning abalone with all of the colors of the rainbow, but then that handcrafted scrollwork in it's sort of a swoosh design that draws the eye toward your face. It is a stunning combination of sort of the delicacy of the abalone shell and then the intricacy of that hand-done scroll work. $68.41. I will give you an update. We have about 270 to go around at this feature price. These will definitely sell out. $17 to get them home. Huge customer pick. I am also in love with that ring as well. So that ring is also very limited. Let me see, about 270 of the ring as well, and the ring is on sale at $94. Take advantage of the flex pay though, because at $23 you can get the ring home, and then at $17 you could get the earrings home as well, and the ring is in sizes 6 through 12. But this, Robert, these earrings, and I know that they are nearly 2 inches in length, and genuine sterling silver and genuine 18 karat gold. This is, I've never seen abalone paired with scroll work like this. It's like my favorite new combination.
You know, I love it too. So my shell carving village in Bali create the most beautiful jewelry. And I've worked with them. It took about a year to get them to understand the kind of quality that I require so that when you get it at home, you absolutely love it. You know, they were used to making shell carvings and they would put small silver findings on. But an earring like this, talk about a giftable item. The reviews, the 5-star, I think every review is 5 stars. And one of my favorite reviews that I was reading yesterday was a customer that bought them as a gift, that their friend raved about them so much that they thought, well, I need a pair too. So they went back and ordered a pair for themselves. So these are a larger, beautiful earring. You know, they've got every color of the Caribbean Sea and the coral reefs that you can imagine. That's what makes this abalone shell, or as they call it in Bali, the pawa shell, really the most beautiful gem of the ocean that you can imagine. I mean, I enjoy using this. You know, some of the top designers in the world are using abalone in their designs, and, you know, they're priced sort of out of reach. I love that here in HSN, I can bring you Bali Design's best. I mean, look at that gorgeous footprint that it leaves. I mean, the impression that you're going to get when you wear these big, beautiful earrings, you know, there is a left and a right. I could have made, you know, a design where there was just one side, but I always like the curve to come into the cheek line, and can't see because it's too far away from me, but generally you want that beautiful curve to come into the face so that it just frames your jawline. And there's not a prettier earring that you can wear every day, and they're not too heavy. They're beautifully, beautifully carved. There's scrolls of waves and water, because since they're reminiscent to me of the Caribbean Sea and all the warm, beautiful sea around Bali and New Zealand and all the, I mean, look at that. This is nature that created this stone. Nothing was done that wasn't enhanced. It wasn't, we didn't add color. It's not, you know, we didn't create, I couldn't even create this kind of beauty. And then to add that silver and 18 karat gold scroll work that makes every Bali Designs piece magnificent. And this is the left and the right, the way we're showing it on the screen. You see how that curve should come in to the face? But every single pair of earrings is a one-of-a-kind, unique pair, just like you. You're unique, you're one of a kind. You know, there's a couple of hundred to go around, I think, or less. I'm just saying, as far as a gift goes, if earrings is one size fits almost everybody, if they have a pierced ear, this is an unbelievable gift. This is a work of art from Bali, from artisans that have centuries of experience. You know, really, it's every single one. If you want to be noticed, if you want a gift that will be remembered and really worn, and people will be so thankful to get it, they're welcoming, warm colors. They're bright and vibrant. You know, it's individual hand-sculpted art in every single pair of earrings. No two are alike, like a fingerprint or a snowflake. So you know that you're wearing something exciting, unique, and absolutely super high quality. And that's what I love about HSN and my artisans of Bali.
Well, even when you said, what did you call them? You said your shell crafters or your shell artisans.
Shell carvers.
Your
that's
shell
right.
carvers.
There's just a village that's all they do.
I mean, that's incredible. They specialize not just in jewelry or in hand carve. They specialize in carving shells. You had me at your shell carvers. But as you said too, Robert, you could not create an abalone that looked this perfect. This is God's own creation, and we called you Santa,
that's right,
but not God. So we let.
No. I'm definitely not God.
No.
I'll take Santa.
Okay, Santa.
I think I make more people happy during Christmas than Santa himself. Just throwing that out there. I'm kidding.
I don't disagree with that. I think so, because and HSN is giving you like steals of deals today on our jewelry day. This is our last big jewelry event before the holidays. Treat yourself, treat somebody else. This ring, the ring, we have about 270 remaining in size 6 through 12. The earring is very lightweight, even though it is almost 2 inches long. And then there's even, Robert, is this the color of the back of the shell?
No, so this is it's just a black resin that we put. It's a lightweight material that A, keeps the shell super strong, B, keeps the earring lightweight because we have the silver and the 18 karat gold added in there. So it is a resin that we add behind the abalone just to keep it, like if you drop it and it didn't have the resin, shells are lightweight and shells can crack. So we try to prevent that in this fine jewelry piece by putting that resin in the back. It kind of makes it secure and strong. So that's really what that is. But normally, this is just a gorgeous piece to look at.
It really is. I think it's pretty. I thought it was actually like an accent piece. I'm glad that it's functional as well. $17.10 on any credit card to get your earrings home. 713-100 for a huge customer pick. And then I haven't even shown you the side of that